You live in Berlin.
Yeah.
How hard is it to find like normal guys, good men in Berlin?
Really hard. Really hard.
Why?
I don't think anyone wants to date.
Interesting. Why do you think no one wants to date?
I think everyone just wants to experience as much as possible, and then, they kind of move on.
Okay.
So Berlin is really, really tough for dating.
Is it hard to find a good man in Sweden?
I'm actually in a relationship.
Was it hard to find your good man?
It took a couple of years, it did. But we had common friends, so
Right.
I already knew him from before. But
Okay.
it can be hard, because some of the guys are just not it.
Not it.
Yeah.
What do you two think?
It's hell.
Hell.
Pretty much, yeah. No, in Sweden it's not really the thing. You walk up to some stranger and you're like, oh yeah, you look good, let's talk. Instead it's like you're standing awkwardly, and if you look at each other for an amount of time, then I'm like, okay, let's stand here awkwardly and maybe exchange something.
Okay. Have you found that in other parts of the world it's easier to meet what you would define as good men?
Good question. I don't know. I think it kind of depends. Like, if you meet someone through friends, maybe it's a different situation, but that doesn't really depend on where you are, I guess.
Maybe. Okay.
He can really be like, oh yeah, you have a really nice outfit. Like, what guy ever says that? And she's like, oh, thank you. And she just go about her day thinking he's talking to her.
Yeah, people just do that to me.
People are really nice to her. Like they actually help her, like put away her bags on the train, and they go up to her and compliment her all the time. And she doesn't understand that this is like guys hitting on her.
If a woman didn't understand that a man was interested in her, that would be entirely his responsibility to make it obvious. So,
Oh, I love that.
Right.
That sounds good.
she's going to extend her stay.
Yeah.
We have to live without,
You also have to find someone with a British accent. Like, come on.
Okay. I'll gather the troops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
right.
please.
Okay. Do you think that in the stage of attraction, before you get to know someone, there's some performative element to relationships where you're getting to know each other? Like there's some games going on at the start.
Yeah, for sure.
But you would prefer someone who just fucks all of that off and is just straight up?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What do you think is a man's role in a relationship? Like, what's his role?
I think it's not just men. I think it's a partner's role to support, each other, support a woman. I mean, emotionally, be there for each other. I don't think we have to be in relationships. I don't think that's really necessary. But I think it's kind of like a positive addition to your life,
Okay.
And that's,
That makes sense. Do you think that alcohol is a big catalyst for social communication, particularly in Sweden?
Yeah. Most Swedes get way more comfortable when they're drinking. And it's more usual that you'll start drinking when you've had a few drinks. So
Right. And you lived in London before. What was your experience in London? Was it similar, or did you find in London people communicate a little more better or worse?
I think better, and people are more looking, for relationships. I feel like I was in a long-term relationship when I lived here, so I don't have that much experience.
With an Englishman?
Yes.
And what are your expectations from a man in a relationship? Like, what would you need him to be in order for you to be happy in a relationship?
Genuine, authentic. I feel like a lot of men are very, as I said, they kind of just tell you what you want to hear, and it's kind of like a performance. And I feel like I need to meet someone who's really nice and really genuine and not trying to, perform, I guess.
That makes sense. But do you think men and women have different roles inside the relationship, or do you think that is kind of equalized across the genders?
I think I want to think that it's equalized, but I think we're still kind of, we still kind of have our roles to an extent. Personally, I like a boyfriend who, as I said, emotionally supports me, is really there for me. And the other way around, I think I kind of lack that. So, yeah.
I mean, you lack the
just
ability.
Like emotional support and like giving you like, what is it called? Confirmation, like reassurance, and like I think I need that more than I give. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think that's maybe because your idea of a man, or the stereotype in your mind of how a man should be, doesn't need the emotional support of a woman?
Yeah, to an extent.
And do you think that's a positive, negative, or just natural sort of mindset to have?
I think it's negative, and I think it also kind of depends, like the more relationships you have, the more you develop and grow, and I feel like men also need reassurance and confirmation and emotional support, and I just think it's often I'm like, oh, they're okay, they're fine, they don't need this, only I do, and so it's a negative, of course, everyone needs a bit of like, are you okay?
Do you think that men also need their ego to be validated to some extent as a man, like their masculinity to be affirmed?
Yeah, definitely.
Have you found that you've been able to do that in past relationships? Like, know where you can make him feel like a man and kind of give him?
Yes, definitely.
And does he in turn make you feel like a woman? Or do you think that's sometimes maybe a little more complicated? Like, how can a man affirm your femininity as a woman?
Wow, good question. I feel like it depends on how much empathy you have. I feel like for women often it's a bit easier to like confirm someone's masculinity, whereas
do you think things like for a man to take care of you, to like put his arm around you, to make you feel safe and secure, do you think that is in some senses an affirmation of femininity?
Maybe.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's easy for us to think about masculinity and how men need to be supported, but femininity is almost like a difficult notion to discuss.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, since you've been in London, what's your experience of the men in London?
They're really nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
They're way too nice sometimes.
Too nice.
Like some random stranger can come up to me like, oh hi, and lead me to the restaurant or things like that.
Letter to a table.
Yeah, and things like that. So I don't know. It's okay, but it was kind of fun like that because I had you too. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm being laid away now, so I might.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's actually more nice to have someone actually walk up to you and talk to you and not just say, oh yeah, you're hot, and then be super drunk and no.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
So you, generally speaking, the English men have been polite and respectful and everything's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done, guys.
So London guys are better than Swedish guys for the moment. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Stay longer. I'll line up the bachelors and I'll have them delivered to you before your flight.
Sounds like a good idea.
Ladies, thank you so much for the interview. Finally, what do you think of open relationships? Do you think they are good or bad for society and for the future generations of leaders, men and women?
I think they're good. It's a very individual thing, I think if you have established a level of communication that you can be in an open relationship, I think that's really impressive. I've never heard of like a scenario where it actually works out. But I feel like if you can like trust your partner that much that you can let other people into your relationship to an extent, it's really impressive.
I agree, but do you think the fact that you've never seen a situation where it's worked out is a sign that maybe it doesn't or can't?
Maybe my friends are also a bit too conservative in that sense, I feel like I haven't really met a lot of people that are even interested in open relationships. So maybe if I was in a different circle of people where it's only people that are in open relationships, maybe I would encounter a scenario where it works, but I haven't.
That shouldn't be too hard in Berlin.
Yeah, right.
Outro. I can help you with this. If you're struggling to do this alone, I certainly fucking was. I can help you. Get in touch with me at the link in the description and I will get on the phone to you and we will talk and help you overcome your biggest problem. I can help you. I want to help you. This is why I do this job. I fucking love my job. I want to help you guys get good at this. Peace.